Pulquileros! Welcome back to the land of pulque and barbacoa. This time is gonna be Hidalgo Part 2. Hi! If you are new around here, my name is Ro and I am a Mexican former flight attendant, super passionate about Mexico, tequila, and aviation. Today we're gonna be taking the second part of Hidalgo because unexpectedly this state has way too many things that I want to share with you and I couldn't fit them all in just one video. So I was forced to present them in two parts. This is gonna be the second part. In the previous video we talked about pueblos mágicos and national parks. If you haven't seen that one, I will leave you a link over here so that you can check it out. The link to the previous video is gonna be also on the description down below. So let's continue because we still have way too many places to go, and of course, my favorite section is also pending. You already know which one that is. Food! So let's jump back right into it. I will be talking about the capital city of the state, Pachuca. Right in the center of the city, you will find the monumental clock tower, which was designed by the same guys that designed the Big Ben back in England, and it actually shares an identical mechanism. And while you are already in the center, it would be a fantastic idea to take the touristical cart, which is a replica of a cable cart. Funny enough, most of the attractions of the city are kind of condensed in one big park, Parque David Ben-Gurion. With 26 hectares, you will find a little bit of everything inside of this park. The Auditorium Theater Gota de Plata, the State Central Library Ricardo Garibay, a convention center, Tuso Forum, a shopping mall, children's playground, a fantastic 3,210 square meters mural on the ground that is an homage to the woman of the world. And lastly, but of course not least, Pachuca has a very interesting history with soccer, or football as we call it here in Mexico. It is said that the first soccer match was played in Pachuca, or in Hidalgo at least. So football soccer is actually quite important for this state. And here in the David Ben-Gurion Park, you will find the interactive center Mundo Football and the International Football Hall of Fame. So if you are into this sport, for sure you need to go to this park. Also, here in Pachuca you will find the Macro Mural, which is an urban art huge mural painted on several houses in the neighborhood Las Palmitas. It is considered to be the biggest in Latin America, and it was part of a project to rehab this particular neighborhood, and it was known to be one of the least safe areas on the city. And lastly, you cannot leave Pachuca without visiting the beautiful statue of Jesus Christ in Cerro de Apolonia, Cristo Rey, where you will also get a beautiful panoramic view of the city. And now I want to tell you about another city. I know there are so many beautiful cities in Hidalgo, but this is the last one that I will be mentioning, Tula. You want to make sure to visit the cathedral and ex-convent of San Jose, the old train station that is today the House of Culture, and the Plaza de Artesanías. From there, you can visit Quetzalcoatl Hall, a place that is not exactly a museum, but it has a beautiful collection of pre-Hispanic and prehistoric pieces. And once you go out, you might as well just want to continue walking down the touristical alley Quetzalcoatl that is gonna lead you straight to the most popular attraction in Tula, the archaeological zone. It is actually quite famous throughout the country, and the name comes from the Toltec word Toyan. It was one of the most important spiritual and commercial centers of the Toltec culture. And although all of the constructions are beautiful and worth checking out, the main attraction are the Atlantes, a group of column-like sculptures on top of the main pyramid representing Toltec warriors. But of course, that is not the only archaeological zone that you will find in Hidalgo. It was located right in the middle of the Toltec region, so you will find many others. But there is one in particular that I liked a lot, Tepeapulco, or better known as Zihuingo. It is an actually tiny archaeological zone that has only one construction, but it was very important. The name Zihuingo means the place that marks the year, and it is believed that it was constructed by the Teotihuacans, later on taken by the Toltecs, after that the Chichimecas, and lastly the Aztecs. You will actually find a lot of dotted crosses that mark astronomical points for the Aztecs in this place. It is believed to have been a place of great importance for the Aztec astronomy. The place is also surrounded by a lot of nopales, which I find particularly pretty and different. And surrounding this pyramid, you will find a lot of petroglyphs and wall paintings. Now let's move on to festivities. And I want to start with Hidalgo's Film Festival, which is an international film festival that has been celebrated since 2010, where they will gather a beautiful collection, very well curated, of shorts and long films that will be projected in selected projection rooms and cinemas. They also offer an award for the best participants, which is called Tenango. And it is a beautiful artisanal piece of textile that is very traditional from this area. And to finish with the festivities, I want to tell you about Chantolo. I've mentioned before that the Mexican Day of the Dead celebration changes in different regions. This is one of them. Chantolo is a celebration of the Day of the Dead with particularities of the Otomi culture. For instance, we will have people setting up an altar in 3 different occasions. The first one will be 29th of September, and it is also the time when people will start seeding the Flor de Cempasúchil, the flower that we use particularly for the celebration of the dead. Another altar will also be set on October 18, when they will start harvesting for winter. And the last one, of course, will be set during the 1st and 2nd of November, the traditional dates of Dia de los Muertos. As you might know, during this date, we believe that the spirit of our departed loved ones come back to spend the day with us. The 1st of November is dedicated for the children, and the 2nd for the grown-ups. They will use the Cempasúchil flower petals to mark a little road from the altar to the street so that their loved ones know exactly where to go. And also the entrance of the house is marked with a beautiful arch that is made of sugarcane and Cempasúchil flowers. Another thing that I found particularly interesting from the Chantolo celebration is that they not only set altars inside of their house for their loved ones, but they will also set a few altars in some of the corners of the towns so that the people that died alone with no family or maybe anonymously will still have someone to greet them into the world of the living. I think that's actually quite sweet. And of course, by the end of the celebration on the 2nd of November, they will be visiting the graveyard to give a farewell to their loved ones back into the land of the dead, to the Mictlán. Here, people will bring food and drinks and of course, music. And most likely you will hear a lot of Huasteco songs and huapangos, which is the most traditional music around this area. One that is particularly famous is Nicandro Castillo's El Hidalguense. And here I will leave you just a little sample of that so that you learn how it sounds. kind of music in particular, along with rancheras. And speaking about music, I want to switch now to the famous Hidalguenses section. And we're going to be starting with Rio Roma, a pop Latino and romantic ballads duo formed by the brothers José Luis and Raúl Ortega. They were born in Tulancingo and they formed this group in 2010. From the very beginning, they were very well accepted by the public. And actually, a few of their songs have been chosen to be part of the soundtrack of some Mexican telenovelas. There are two Hidalguenses that place the name of Mexico very high around the world. One of them was Juan Guillermo Villasana. He was born in Pachuca in 1891 and he died in 1959. He was an engineer and aviator who invented the Anahuac propeller, a very important advancement in the aviation of the time. He also founded in 1909 the first Mexican aviation-related association, La Sociedad de la Aviación. He was in the army and he functioned as the director of the military aviation school for some time. But his major accomplishment was no doubt the Anahuac Hélice. If you want to learn a little bit more about this invention, you might want to check out my video about the 5 inventions that you probably didn't know are Mexican, and I will leave you a link over here. And much closer to today, we have another Hidalguense that plays Mexico's name high up, Victor Espinosa. He was a jockey and he accomplished in 2015 something that hasn't been done since 1978. He won the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness Stakes, and the Belmont Stakes, also known as the Trials of the Triple Crown. He was very close to accomplish this a couple times, but in 2015 he succeeded at it while riding the horse American Pharoah, property of Ahmed Sayat. Sorry if I butchered those names. And the last guy that I want to tell you about is someone that is quite famous and seriously revered here in Mexico, and probably in many other places as far as I know. Rodolfo Guzmán Huerta. He was born in Tulancingo in 1917 and he died in 1984. He was a professional wrestler and a movie actor, better known as El Santo or El Enmascarado de Plata. Actually, I was quite surprised and amazed to learn that he was a professional wrestler for 40 years. He started his career in Mexican Lucha Libre in 1942 and he retired in 1982 at the age of 65. His character was so popular that it was turned into a weekly comic where he was turned in some kind of superhero, a representation of justice. It was so popular that later on they started making movies about him. He ended up filming 52 films where El Santo was fighting all sorts of evil and scary monsters. Santo contra las momias de Guanajuato. Santo contra las mujeres vampiro. It was crazy and super fun. And today is still quite popular. And finally, we have reached my favorite section, food! We are going to be starting with probably the most popular dish of Hidalgo, barbacoa de ollo. Another very famous Hidalgo dish would be michiote. talk about the very famous pastes de Real del Monte. Now, I want to mention a couple dishes that are going into some sort of uncharted territory for me. Gualumbos. And the other delicacy, actually, that we are going to be talking about is chinicuiles. Chinicuiles are not the same as gusano de maguey. Although both of them feed on the agave plant, chinicuiles live on the roots while gusano de maguey does on the leaves. Finally, I want to tell you about pulque, the drink of the gods. Hidalgo is one of the many states that are actually quite close to Mexico City. So when I saw everything that there is to see and visit and eat in Hidalgo, I was so surprised that I never got to many of those places. And to be honest, I felt a little bit ashamed because I haven't been to that many. I mean, Pachuca, Tula, and many other places are actually quite close to Mexico City. Such a shame I didn't take the opportunity to visit them when I was so close to them. But for sure, now I know where I need to go and what to do in that beautiful state. I was more than pleasantly surprised. I might have started to sound like a broken record. Really, I am falling in love with my own country all over again. I really hope that you are enjoying these videos as much as I am. Because honestly, they are not receiving as much love as I would like it to. So if you can, please share it with some friends. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know which place you wish you could go, or maybe which places you have already visited. I love reading your comments. No joke, I really do. And I am also very excited about the next chapter because it's gonna be Jalisco, the state where I am currently living. And I hope that this time I will be able to give you a little bit of footage that was actually recorded by me. Although I'm not very good at it, so please don't set your expectations too high. Anyway, before you go, please don't forget to give this video a big and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to click on the bell to get notifications every single time that I upload a new video. Like always, thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Tequila Princess, out. Bye!